That is because the moon is what they said it is in Star Wars. It is the Death Star.
There is no way I could say something that ridiculous and keep a straight face.
You're watching The Creaky Blinder.
I heard you made a video. I'm a little late. I'm 3 days late.
Not as late as me, though. I've only been gone 2 weeks and I come back to this. Gina Marie Colvin Hill and Trey 57 are trying to get people to believe that the moon is actually like the Death Star from Star Wars.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
Yeah, you know, Star Wars, that really famous documentary series about space.
Okay, but I am, but it sounds like you had something important to say.
Well, he's definitely got something to say. Is it important? Only time will tell. Some people will think it is, I'm sure. But take it from me, it probably isn't. Neither is anything I've got to say. Although I did once get a letter from the doctor telling me I was important. But what being important has to do with not being able to have any more children remains a mystery. So let's see what important things Gina and Trey 57 have to say, shall we? Please subscribe. Hi, it's only me, Creaky. So, it would seem that in my absence, the world has gone mad. And when I say the world, I mean Gina Marie Colvin Hill. Oh, and her new friend Trey 57, whose name kind of scares me a little, as does the content of his channel. But I'm basing my future safety on distance. He's in the US, I'm in the UK, so I should be okay. Have a look at his channel. But anyway, we pretty much all know and accept that the moon is Earth's only natural satellite. Its diameter is about 1/4 of the diameter of Earth, and it's the 5th largest satellite in the solar system. We've even been there. But Trey 57 doesn't seem to think it's that cut and dry. He thinks that... Should we just let him explain?
I never heard nothing like this, Trey. I haven't. I think,
Well, if Gina hasn't heard anything like this before, then I am certain this video is not going to disappoint. If you haven't seen her before, she's kind of like what you get if Barnabas Nagy and Roger from Mud Fossil University had a baby.
I think I better hear you out. I better hear you out because I think you do got something to say. Just like me, when I say I got something to say, I'm thinking you probably have something to say, Trey. I'm going to stop. I'm going to let you say what you want to say. Okay, I can do it.
Well, then, you repeating I think Trey has something to say isn't really letting him say the something that he wants to say, is it? And yes, I know I could have just reacted to the video from his own channel, but I like Gina, especially her dancing.
Gina, honey, is going to let you talk, Trey. Yes, I am. You can talk now.
Ugh, I hate it when people constantly
What's good, YouTube?
Funny.
This video right here is for my girl, Gina Marie Colvin.
Hill.
Gina Marie Colvin.
Hill.
Y'all ain't know I had it, did y'all?
You've got something. Not sure if it's it, but you definitely have something. Are you going to actually let us know what your video is about at any point, or are we just waffling and hoping to get a video out of it? I hate people who do that.
But anyway, this video is for a friend of mine, Gina Marie Colvin. She said, call me Gina Marie. All right, y'all, so just listen up. Real important.
Is it just me, or does it seem like, even though they claim to have something really important to say, they're a little reluctant to say whatever it is they say they want to say? I feel like I'm saying say too much. Now let's say I have said say too much. What would you say I should say instead of say? Head down to the comment section and have your say.
Because a lot of subliminal messages being thrown out of this movie that I just seen.
Which movie? Star Wars? Now, I consider myself a Star Wars superfan, and I have to be honest, I've never felt like I was being messaged, subliminally or otherwise. This is getting weird already. What do you say? Oh, crap.
And I want Gina to see this movie. And I don't know, Gina, if you are a fan of watching movies, but this movie kind of bit me because before I even knew that this movie existed, once again, I've been speaking on this and I've been saying this.
Hang on a second. You're about 30 and you're honestly trying to get us to believe that you've only just discovered Star Wars. Even my nan knows about Star Wars and she's dead. Listen, Trey 57, I hate to be the one to point this out, but you're setting yourself up to fail. If you're actually going to try and get people to believe that our moon is like the Death Star from Star Wars, claiming that you've only just discovered Star Wars Wars isn't really the way to go. Been out since 19-something, empty heaven. I'm super fan.
The moon. Y'all ever notice how and why the moon seem like it's closer than what it was when you was younger?
No, I can't say I have if I'm being honest. I'm not really in the habit of measuring the distance to the moon. I've only got a 10-meter measuring tape for a start. It would take me ages.
You ever wonder why the moon is, you ever wonder why the moon is in sight? You can see it, that it's in broad open daylight.
Not really, no. But what I am wondering is why you think it's closer when science tells us that the moon is drifting away by about 1.5 inches every year. Ah yes, of course. Moon is Death Star might be a clue.
Like how are you able to see the moon in broad open daylight?
Oops, I forgot he asked that. Well, okay. And even though most children know why we see the moon in the daylight, allow me to explain it to you. Again, as children, we are taught to associate the sun with daytime and the moon with nighttime. And that seems to be the extent of your knowledge, Tray 57. Now, you do realise that the moon is always up there, right? I'm just checking. As the moon continues in its orbit around the Earth away from the sun, increasingly more of its sunlit surface is visible. This is why the moon sometimes appears as a crescent or half moon, when it's further from the sun and visible above. When it's further from the sun and visible above the horizon, it's easier to spot during the day.
There are some changes that have been made, and it is out of my hands, your hands, and the so-called world's hands. But let me tell y'all something.
So-called world? What? You've lost me, pal. What do you mean so-called? We're right here, living in the world. I'm so confused.
I will say this, and I've been saying this for the longest. Gina, I've been saying this for the longest. The moon. Have y'all ever seen the movie Star Wars? That's the first thing I'm gonna say to y'all. Have y'all ever seen Star Wars?
Yeah, only about 500 times though, so I may not be the best qualified person to answer this question. I'll give it a try though, but I make no promises.
But if you've ever seen the movie Star Wars, there is a planet, a so-called planet, that is a machine sitting in space.
I actually think that's the first use of the words so-called that make any sense in any conspiracy theorist video I have ever watched. Yes, the Death Star was a so-called planet on account of Star Wars being science fiction, with extra emphasis on the fiction part of that word. Well done. You actually got something right.
Where alien, extraterrestrial, artificial intelligence comes from. In Star Wars, it's called the Death Star.
Right, I'm not having that. The Death Star belongs to the Empire. It's like their clubhouse, the place where they meet up and plan all their dark side shenanigans. Yes, there are aliens on board, but they are not from the Death Star on account of it not actually being a real planet. What the hell am I saying? It's a science fiction movie, not a documentary.
I spoke of this a couple years back, and I got into detail with it, okay? Before YouTube tampered with my channel.
Oh, boo-hoo. Conspiracy theorists claiming that YouTube tampered with his channel. Could it just be that your videos are crap and there aren't as many people as you think who are as stupid as you? And that's why your videos don't get views? Trust me, I would know.
And I was speaking on extraterrestrial, and I must have pushed a couple people's buttons, or somebody's buttons, or organization's buttons.
Yeah, that'll be it, because you're so important. And the world's second biggest search engine, which is owned by the world's biggest search engine, is worried that people will believe you when you say the moon is like the Death Star from Star Wars.
Or
you're completely nuts? Like the vast majority of other conspiracy theorists on YouTube?
so I spoke on the Death Star.
Wait, you spoke on the Death Star? You can go there? Now as a fan, I really want to know how I go there and have a look for myself.
And how the moon got artificial dust on it to hide what's really under the moon's surface.
Nearly the entire moon is covered by a rubble-type substance of charcoal grey powdery dust and rocky debris called lunar regolith. Beneath is a region of fractured bedrock referred to as the mega-regolith. By saying that fast 3 times. Mega-regolith, mega-regolith... No, it's not going to work. Lunar regolith is formed by the impact of meteorites on the surface. Not that any of this really matters in this context, because you'll just say it's false anyway. But nobody put the regolith covering on the moon. It occurred naturally.
The moon, when you look at it at night, if y'all have common sense.
Oh, right. You're serious? My bad. Well, sadly, Trey, common sense is not that common, especially in the conspiracy theorist world. Sorry, so-called world.
Y'all ever notice how the moon is a different color? It's a different color this day, it's a different color that day. It's a different color this week, different shape this week.
No, I haven't. And I will tell you for why. Any of those questions can be answered very easily and have been answered for a very long time. We only need to wonder about things we haven't had answers to yet. But conspiracy theorists spend all their time wondering if the answers we already have are right or not. Because of course, they know best, don't they? Or at least they seem to think they do.
They told you in school that the moon gets its light from.
Are we keeping you up or something? If you're yawning while you're making your own video, pal, I think you may have found the real answer to why not that many people watch your content. This is like pulling bloody teeth. Get on with it, man.
Sorry for the yawn. I need to get some sleep. But the moon gets its light from the sun. That's what they said. It's hitting it at the right angle.
Ah, yes, but it isn't just what they say, though, is it? You do realize that science isn't just the opinion of one person, don't you? If I didn't know any better, I would say that you don't know how the scientific method works at all. And you think that if a scientist says that the sky is blue, then all the other scientists just go around high-fiving each other and celebrating because some guy made a discovery. Well, no! When a scientist makes a discovery, then other scientists in his or her field try to disprove that discovery until they are left with the only conclusion being that the scientist that made the discovery was right. So you were saying?
1 year the moon looks like a LED light. Same with the sun. You know, a LED light, LED flashlight, boom, boom, boom. But back in the day it was like a yellowish, reddish, you know, orangish. But the moon.
Stop. I think he means LED lights. And just for clarity, the colour temperature of light is measured in Kelvin. And it sounded like you were gonna say that they've updated the moon's light to LEDs and that's why it looks a different colour now.
Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's orange like a block of cheese. Sometimes it looks like a bright flashlight.
A red or yellow coloured moon usually indicates a moon seen near the horizon. There, some of the blue light has been scattered away by the long path through the Earth's atmosphere. Which feels pointless to say, but that's what science tells us.
That is because the moon is what they said it is in Star Wars. It is the Death Star where Darth Vader was. Darth Vader was an alien, extraterrestrial. Movies gotta throw these messages out because they can't just come out and say it.
Oh dear, I have so much to learn about being a YouTuber. There is no way I could say something that ridiculous and keep a straight face. Fair play to you, Trey. You're a much better actor than me.
But on this Death Star on the moon in Star Wars, they were able to go close to it, but then when they get close to it, they was able to go in it. Like this big ball, they was able to go into it. Rooms, levels, many levels to the moon.
Yes, they were. But in Star Wars, there are also Jedi Knights who can control people's minds and actions using the Force.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Which I wish was real, and you probably think is real, but sadly not. And considering the fact that we've actually been to the moon and missed all this, then maybe, just maybe, NASA need to teach its crews to pay more attention. Because if any of what you're saying was to be true, then they really weren't watching what they were doing, were they?
You know, different dock bays and like truck bay, you pull up, unload your merchandise in the dock. Well, they was able to dock up on the moon. And it's just beyond the planet. It was a whole extraterrestrial central intelligence area where they.
I always thought the A in CIA stood for agency. Shows what I know. What do they call it when you start to believe your own lie? Oh wait, I found it. It's called being a twat.
You could just go in and get on computers that we don't know nothing about, but now we got them. Your flat screen TVs, your iPhone, your phone. You could talk to somebody and look at them. Hey, what's up, cuz? Hey, auntie, hey, dad, I'm in a...
Oh, please tell me it's not just me that thinks this clown is a complete moron. It's called technology. It's all around us. Even around you. You're using it now to record your video. Video calling was science fiction 30 years ago. We already had moving pictures, TV, the phones. Wasn't that much of a stretch to think up the idea of video calling, was it?
Stay technology. But once again, the reason why we got it, because exchange of things.
Yeah, we only have the tech now because aliens give it to us. And I know that that's a theory that a lot of people buy into, but it's irrelevant in this video. This video is about you proving that our moon is like the Death Star from Star Wars. And it's not going very well for you, is it?
Take a few, we give you this. That's how we keep the relationship, because we really got nothing to offer them but people.
Ooh, on the off chance that he's right and I'm wrong, I want to send out a message to any aliens that may be watching this video. Can we please have time machines? There are so many things I wish I could get a second chance of doing.
They come down, they mate with women. That's why people get, that's why these people that y'all think can perform magic tricks and they can perform certain things and do certain things like stick a knife down his throat and throw up cards and make them disappear and pull it up. Y'all look, just giving y'all heads up, they extraterrestrial. They got special gifts.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. I always knew there was something a little off about David Blaine, but sadly for you, wrong again. Will I even bother explaining it? Does that clear it up?
But I know I'm veering off of what I'm trying to say because I got something else to say while I'm trying to tell y'all this.
Hang on, so the moon being the Death Star from Star Wars isn't the big one, there's more? Turns out he didn't have anything else to say apart from telling her to watch the movie. What a weirdo. Anyway, it's nice to be back. Unless, of course, you didn't even notice I'd been gone, in which case, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you all again very soon. Love you, bye! Have they gone yet?
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.